What is up, everyone? Welcome back. I know I've been away for a bit. It's just been a little chaotic, but our baby boy is finally here, and that is what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to share my experience, our story with giving birth, and the delivery experience. So let's just jump right into it. So for starters, my baby boy was born on December 22nd at 4:10 in the morning. Now let's jump to the beginning. And like a little disclaimer for first time moms, ain't nothing gonna happen the way you want it to happen, okay? So on December 20th, which was a Friday, my husband came home from work. I made him steak, potato, and broccoli. Like, it was a good night. You know, we stayed up late, like watching videos, and he went to bed like a little before 11, and at 11:50, I know the time because I checked my phone, but we were laying in bed and I turned my phone off, plugged it in, and I felt like a gush came out. So I was like, that's weird. So I rolled over and I, tapped him like, hey babe, like I think my water just broke. And like my husband, he like jumped up, went into like this crazy mode, like, are you serious? I just went to bed and go check. So I got up, went to the bathroom, and like had a waddle to the bathroom, and it was just, the waters broke. It was gushing. So I quickly grabbed a towel, stepped over it, and it was just like gushing, and it was crazy. And I didn't think my water was gonna break. I didn't think I was gonna experience it, but it did. So it was just coming out, and I was laughing hysterically the whole time. And my husband's like one-eyed open, and why are you laughing? This isn't funny. It's time. We need to go. And so like I, called my midwife, and my midwife basically did I already knew, but she told me like, you have basically a 12-hour window. If you're not contracting and you're fine, then stay home. No need to come in, relax, take a nice shower, or have your husband rub you, whatever. So my husband's like, no, we're going now. But he packed the car up, we walked the dog, set the house up, and everything was already packed. Just put everything in the car. But I didn't want to go because it was, our hospitals have been launched, so that's a 2-hour drive. I didn't want to go if it wasn't time. And I know my body, so we took our time getting stuff done. My husband was just impatient. He didn't want to go back to bed, but I took a shower. I was relaxed, and then my water was still breaking. Let's put it that way. It didn't stop leaking at all. So maybe that was 11:50. My water broke. Maybe like a little after 3:20ish, because we were in the car by 3:30. I told my husband like, I'm starting to cramp. Let's just go. So we did. We got in the car. We were in the car by 3:30 in the morning, and we made the drive up. We got there by 6, and that was great. So we got there at 6 a.m. on the 21st. And they checked me, and of course, like I was just gushing, so I had to sit on those little puppy pads, I call them, and they had to check me, and I wasn't dilated. So they were like, you know what, go rest, take a nap, take a walk, get something to eat, then come back at noon, because of course that 12-hour window. So we went and got McDonald's, of course. We took a nap, we walked around, and then we came back at a little before noon. It was like 11:30ish, 11:40ish. Wasn't dilated yet. So that was great. But since I hit that 12-hour window, kind of out of luck there. So they had to give me Pitocin, hopefully I said it right, to like start the contractions. Because, the baby can't sit in there that long once the waters break. But this child was stubborn. And the one thing that I did not want any medical intervention. I didn't want epidurals. I don't want nothing. So having to get the induction process started really mentally messed me up, but it's all right. So we had 2 sets. We had our midwife and her nurses, and then we had the doctor and his nurses, because of course they rotate. The night shift was our midwife and the nurses, and then the day shift was the male doctor and the male nurse. So during the day we had the males, but I'll split the males because each shift was males and females. So we got to start in the male nurse. He was very nice. He's like, it's gonna come on strong, and it's gonna be worse than what it would be without it. And I didn't know. I never had a kid before. Ooh, no, I'm leaking. Sorry. But anywho, I didn't know. And so it took maybe like 30 to 40 minutes for it to kick in. And once it kicked in, it was kicking in. So from I want to say maybe 12:30, a little bit before 1 p.m., those contractions were coming, but I was not dilating at all. And I held out up until a little bit before 9 p.m. That's when I was I'll tell you how bad it got. It was, oh my God. My husband was a champ. I give my husband that. Like, he was a champ. He held my hand. He walked with me. And it was just, holding onto the wall didn't help. Sitting on a ball didn't help. Rolling didn't help. Getting massaged didn't help. Like, you know, and then when it came time to like having like a snack, I was eating Jell-O, and it was just terrible. But the pain got so bad, like I was getting the chills. I was getting hot flashes, and then it got to the point where I was throwing up profusely. Like, I was just throwing up from the pain, and so it was just, oh my God. But I do give my husband credit, because there's like, those who've had babies, they know, like, those contractions ain't a joke. But I would hold my husband and just clench, and then he'd be like, baby, it's okay. And I would want to hit him, like, you don't know how it feels. Don't tell me it's okay. But after like 8 p.m., around 8:30, I was throwing up so bad at that time that I was like, you know what, this is done. Just get the epidural going. Let's go. And so I didn't really know like what the epidural was, because I did not want one. I didn't want any of that. But so the anesthesiologist came in, talked to me about it. I had to sign the consent forms, whatnot. But the contractions were getting so bad, I could not stay still. It was terrible. So my husband had to hold me, and then one of the nurses had to hold me. It was so terrible. But I got the epidural, and I thought the epidural was just gonna, you know, numb everything, be loosey goosey. No, like from like right here down, nothing. It was so bad. That was around 9 p.m. It was terrible. Oh man. Oh. And the one of the things that they did give me though, I was able to get like a sleeping aid. They wanted to let me rest, and that knocked me out for a few hours, but didn't do much. So that was great. But after they gave me the epidural, the contractions slowed down, so they had to keep upping the dose of the Pitocin to like help me out. But I wasn't dilating, so that was great. So I was just resting and laying there for a few hours, waiting and waiting. And so my husband can sleep through anything, okay? My husband literally slept like, oh man. Anywho, around, I want to say like midnight, I was not feeling good. You know, the legs were numb, and they were hurting for some reason. So they had to come check everything, and I was starting to get the sweats, and I got a fever. So I remember I pushed the button, and then one of the nurses came in, she checked me, and I was sick. I got an infection, I had a fever. So now that wasn't great. So that was, you know, had to elevate me, ice packs, give me antibiotics, all that jazz. And then they wanted to up the Pitocin some more for the contractions, because that baby needs to come out now. You're gonna hit the 24-hour mark since the water's popped, which I did. And so then I remember I was just sitting there, and when you have the epidural, you don't feel anything. So I was just watching the monitor, of course. I want to say maybe it was like a little after 2 a.m. on the 22nd now. And I felt like it hurt down there. Like, it really hurt. So I remember I tried to wake up my husband, and he wouldn't wake up. So I'm like, all right, if I still feel the pressure, I'll call the nurse, whatever. So then 3 o'clock came, and I buzzed the little thing, and she came in like maybe 20 minutes later, and I told her, I was like, it feels like I had to poop. Like, it feels weird down there. She's like, okay, well then I'll get the midwife. We'll check you in 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes. So then at 3:50, I know it was like 3:40 something, but at 3:50, I'll tell you the mark, but at a little 3:40ish, she did come in. But before she came in, I told my husband, like, look, you got 25 minutes to sleep, and then you gotta wake up, because they're gonna come check me. They don't wake up. She came in, the midwife came in, they left the lights down low, to keep the mood nice and keep me calm. And she propped my legs up, and of course with epidural, they have to prop your legs up, because you can't lift those bad boys. So they propped my legs open, and she didn't even have to look. She just oh, it's time. She's like, I can see the baby's head. And so my husband quickly sprung up, and she's like, do you want to do a practice push? And I'm like, yeah. So of course you have to watch the contractions on the monitor for when you have to push. And so I did one practice push, and it was time. And that was at 3:50, and it took me only 3 pushes, and the baby came out. And the one cool thing about it was when his head was right there, she asked if I wanted to touch his head, so I reached down and I touched his head, and my husband touched his head too, so that was cool. But 3 pushes, he came out, and my husband got to cut his umbilical cord, and because I had an infection, they had to take him to the NICU, and that was not great for me, because you just had your baby. But they waited about 40 minutes, then they took him. And we did do the delayed clamping, which was great. That's what I wanted to do. Seeing him in the NICU, that was just, no. That breaks your heart. Seeing him attached to everything, but being able to hold him, and it was just extraordinary. But with my overall experience, because we stayed in the hospital a little bit longer than what we would have liked, I loved it. I would recommend it. Launch stool was great. My nurse is great. The midwives were great. And the overall care was just extraordinary. And I feel like there's a lot of things like with TRICARE and insurance that people don't know covered, like that is covered. So like postpartum care, let's just talk about that real quick. I did not know enough about it. Like nobody talks about all your bleeding and mishap and nasty stuff that's going on down there. So I was not prepared. And I didn't know that like TRICARE covers like the witch hazel pads. They cover like a lot of stuff for postpartum care, along with even nipple cream. So when I was sent home, like I just went to, they gave me like, they sent all the prescriptions in, and then I just went and picked everything up at the, well, my husband did, at the pharmacy. And that's one thing where a lot of the spouses who are here in Stuttgart, they have to buy everything and, oh, go get it from here and there. And I just got everything from the pharmacy. It is expensive. But that was one of the big ones. And then with my baby having like a little infection, he was jaundiced as well. And that was just, oh man, we had a lot of mishaps. So he's gonna be 2 months on the 22nd. So he's a month, and he's gonna be 2 months this coming week. Let's put it that way. But he's been in and out of the doctors. It's been a hassle. And then he had a lip tie and a tongue tie. He got that done. He has to go back and get it done, get some more done. So it's just been a very big mental hassle. And with the tongue tie, there goes lactation issues. So it's been a hassle. And then my husband, he had to go back to the States for school. So my husband was able to take 3 weeks of leave and then go back to work, and then he left a week after that. So it's been just me. It's a hassle, but I got this. It's gonna go great. And I know I didn't do too much info like on my stay there, just because it was just an experience. It was an overall joy. I loved it. I loved my nurses. I loved everything. And the one thing that like really brought me at some ease, because no family was there, was how much they checked on you first off, and how much they offer you stuff. And the USO stopped by, the chaplain stopped by. Like having that just made things feel a lot better. But if you have any questions or comments, like I have so much information I would love to share, but I don't want to make such a big video. But I will show you the baby's room real quick, all right? So hold on. So this is our baby's room. Yep, we made those, by the way, from scratch. We got that at a store. So this closet right here, this whole thing is mine, because closets are small here. But this is our baby's room. We had to make the little wall shelf over there because he needed room. We painted the wall ourselves, put stickers on it. Yep. And yes, here I'll do, let me scoot back for you guys. Do little tracks for our baby boy. And our little Brett's here. Little bear rug for him. And then these, yes, these are keychains, okay? Pregnancy brain got me. I ordered keychains instead of big animals, but my husband made a little thing out of it for him. His clothes, his bins, and of course we like over prepared, so we have clothes all the way up until 12 months, and they're organized by the little dividers. And then his high chair. He does have lamps because I like to do DIYs. So I painted the lampshades white, and then these are going to be painted gray to match everything. And then we do have a recliner, but the recliner is in our room because we use it at night. But everyone, this is our room, and those are my babies. But thanks for watching, everyone. And once the room's complete, of course, because I'll do a video of it. But I do want to do a home video. I keep procrastinating, but I'll do it eventually because there's still a lot of like things I want to do and make and like put up, but just time. But hope you guys enjoyed, and of course if you have any questions about birth or anything, healthcare, anything at all, just shoot me a message. And we do have a trip coming up. We're gonna go to Austria in March. So that's gonna be fun. Well, thank you guys for watching. Love you all.